Have you ever found yourself wondering if love will ever come your way? Maybe you've experienced that all too familiar ache of seeing others find their soulmates while you're left questioning, why not me? Why not now? You're not alone. Did you know that the average person falls in love 3 times in their lifetime, but those relationships are often spread across many years? The truth is, love and timing have a much more intricate relationship than we might think. This statistic is surprising, right? It's fascinating, and it brings us to a much deeper question. What if love isn't just about finding the right person, but about finding that person at the right time? So, let's dive deep into this concept of God's perfect timing in love. It's a topic that resonates with so many because, at one point or another, most of us have faced the struggle of waiting for the right person, waiting for the right time, waiting for love to simply work out the way we imagine it should. But what if that waiting isn't just a random delay? What if it's part of a bigger, divine plan? Imagine for a moment that your life is a story, carefully penned by an author who sees not just the present, but the beginning and the end, the twists and the turns, the heartbreaks and the healings. Every chapter, every moment, is designed with purpose. The idea that God's timing is perfect might seem like a comforting thought, but when you're in the thick of loneliness, it can be hard to hold on to that belief. You see others around you, friends, family, colleagues, finding their partners, getting engaged, married, starting families. It feels like you're stuck on the sidelines, watching life pass you by. The frustration is real, and so is the sense of isolation that can creep in when you're waiting for love. You might start to doubt yourself, questioning your worth, wondering if there's something fundamentally wrong with you. The truth is, the waiting period can be incredibly challenging. We live in a world that values instant gratification, where waiting for anything, let alone love, feels almost unbearable. It's easy to feel lonely in those moments, especially when it seems like everyone around you is finding their perfect match. You might start to question your own worth or even wonder if there's something wrong with you because love seems to be just out of reach. And then there's the impatience. The restless feeling that maybe you should just settle for someone who's good enough because waiting for the one feels too risky, too uncertain. After all, how can we be sure that person even exists, or that they're ever going to come into our lives? The fear of missing out can push us to make decisions we're not proud of later, all because we're desperate to fill that void of loneliness. The world tells us that time is ticking, that there's a deadline for finding love, that if you're not in a relationship by a certain age, you're somehow behind. These messages can be incredibly damaging, planting seeds of doubt and fear in our hearts. But here's the thing, God's timing is not our timing. This is one of the most profound truths you can embrace on your journey to finding love. While we operate on a timeline that's linear and bound by clocks and calendars, God's perspective is entirely different. To Him, time is not a constraint but a tool, something He uses to bring about the best possible outcomes in our lives, including when and how we find love. It's not about delay, it's about preparation. It's about aligning circumstances, hearts, and souls so that when love does arrive, it's not fleeting or fragile, but strong, enduring, and true. Consider this, God knows the desires of your heart better than you do. He knows what you need in a partner, not just what you want. Sometimes, the waiting is a period of preparation, a time for you to grow, to heal, to become the person you're meant to be before you can fully appreciate and nurture the kind of love that lasts a lifetime. Waiting doesn't mean inactivity, it means active growth, a deepening of your understanding of yourself and what you truly need in a relationship. Let me share with you a story. I once knew someone who was desperate to find love. She prayed, she searched, and every time she thought she'd found the one, it turned out to be a dead end. Years went by, and she started to lose hope. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, she met someone who checked every box she'd ever dreamed of, and more. It was as if all the pieces of her life finally clicked into place. Looking back, she realized that if she had met him any earlier, she wouldn't have been ready. She had needed that time to grow into the person who could fully embrace and sustain the love they found together. The waiting time had been essential for her to develop into someone who could give and receive the love that she had always longed for. It wasn't that she had to become perfect, because none of us are, but that she needed to become whole. The right relationship would have crumbled if it had come too soon, under the weight of unresolved issues, insecurities, and fears that she needed to face alone before she could truly share her life with someone else. Imagine if she had settled earlier, driven by impatience or the fear of being alone. That choice would have led her down a different path, possibly into a relationship that was not built to last, that might have caused more heartache and frustration. Instead, by trusting in the process and in God's timing, she found a love that was richer, deeper, and more fulfilling than anything she had previously imagined. Here's the key insight: trust in God's timing isn't about passively sitting by and waiting for something to happen. It's about actively participating in your own growth, becoming the best version of yourself, and trusting that God is working behind the scenes in ways you can't even begin to understand. It's about living your life fully in the present, not putting it on hold until someone else comes along. Your life is not on pause, it's a journey, and every step you take, even those that seem to be in solitude, are steps toward the love story that is being written for you. One of my favorite verses that capture this idea is from Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." This scripture isn't just about the physical world, it's about your life, your journey, and yes, your love story. When you trust in God's timing, you're allowing Him to make your love story beautiful in a way that you couldn't on your own. God's timing is about perfection, not delay. It's about making sure that when the right person comes into your life, you are both ready to embrace the love that is meant to be, a love that is not just convenient or timely but profound and enduring. In those moments when you feel frustrated or impatient, remember that God's plan for you is far greater than anything you could plan for yourself. He knows what you need, who you need, and when you need them. Trust that the waiting is not wasted time. It's not a punishment or a sign that something is wrong with you. Instead, it's an opportunity for growth, for deepening your relationship with yourself and with God. It's a time to build the foundation that will support the love that is coming your way. So let's summarize. We've talked about the frustration of waiting, the loneliness, and impatience that often come with it. But we've also explored how God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't align with our own plans. We've seen how waiting can be a time of growth and preparation, and how it can lead to a deeper, more fulfilling love than we could have imagined. We've touched on the idea that your life is a story, one that is being written by a loving author who knows the desires of your heart and is preparing you to receive them in their fullness. The truth is, waiting on God's timing is an act of faith. It's about trusting that He has your best interests at heart, and that when the time is right, He will bring the right person into your life. And when that happens, you'll look back and realize that every moment of waiting was worth it because it led you to something beautiful, something lasting. The waiting period, challenging as it might be, is actually a gift, an opportunity to become who you are meant to be, so that when love does arrive, you are ready to embrace it fully and completely. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you experienced the challenge of waiting for love? How has it impacted you, and what lessons have you learned along the way? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And if you're interested in exploring this topic further, be sure to check out my other video on how to prepare yourself for the love you're waiting for. Remember, you're not alone in this journey, and sometimes, the best things truly are worth the wait. Let's continue this conversation and support each other in this journey of love, faith, and patience.